Shalom. All praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Now, I've got this clip here from a podcast of Joe Rogan, and basically he was speaking with Royce Gracie from the Gracie family, and they basically they talk on the Dagestani wrestlers, and I wanted to play the clip of what Royce Gracie says. Dagestani wrestlers are basically the guys that come from the Caucasus region the Caucasus region of Russia. All right, so that's where you get like Khabib from, and his people. Then you have like Chechens, then you have Ostians. These are all people from the Caucasus region, real, tough people basically, which they fall under the banner of Russia. But even in there's a difference as well. There's like cultural differences within Russia as well, but that's another video for another time. But basically in this video, he goes into, because what's happening now in the sports world, the UFC world, for example, and even the boxing world, it's these Russian descent fighters that are basically making quick work of the Western fighters, basically, including Jake. Even Apostle Tahar, he always mentions it, how these Russian guys, they like don't fear Jake, basically, where the average cracker in the West is, they fear Jake, like in the sports arenas, for example. Whereas these Russian guys come in and, they basically can compete and they win. They win, which a lot of them are Israelites. But basically it goes into also the mind state of those people. Those people are bred for war, man. The average Russian, their spirit and mind is different to the Western so-called white man. See? Because what's happening now in this world is we're finding out that these Edomites, this society, the Western Europe, the UK, America, which all falls under one banner, Babylon, the Great, it's the Western so-called white man, the Edomites. This is a folly and wicked system, man. People are degenerates. They're all on drugs. They have no discipline. All right. It's a wicked, evil society. They oppress their own people here, which it happens also in Russia. But the point is, there's a difference in mind state. These things happen also in Russia, but there's a difference in mind state, which is biblical prophecy, the East versus the West, all right? And it's spiritual, because even recently, the other weekend, you had Tyson Fury. He lost the lineal, all those belts, the heavyweight title belts. He lost it to who? Alexander Usyk, which is a guy from the Eastern world, Ukraine, all right? Which are basically Russians, all right? All right? So let me play this here. Let me play what he said here, and then I want to read some scriptures. Because Russia is going to be one of the main forces that's going to help to destroy Babylon the Great. Russia is going to be one of the main forces that's going to destroy America, all right? And that's all biblical prophecy. They're one of the main factors that's going to destroy America with the nuclear missiles, all right? For the prophecy of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Boxer. It's just, and then you got those guys from Dagestan. That's an interesting element too. Those Russian wrestlers.
I don't think this because of their wrestling. I think it's because of their discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell a lot of people that those guys don't think about anything else. Just train. They're disciplined about
very religious, very disciplined, very focused. Yeah.
There's no the girlfriend or wife. They're not thinking about any of that.
No partying.
There's no partying. That's all they do. Get up, train, sleep, eat, train. So, they don't think about anything else. They're just more, I think they're more disciplined than this side of the world.
Yeah, I was watching this.
See, there you go. So, he says more there. But I just wanted to play that part. He said they're more disciplined than this side of the world. Meaning what? Meaning the average, so-called Russian or person from that side of the world, they're more mentally stronger than the average person from the Western side of the world. Meaning what? America, and primarily America, and also the UK, also France, all the Western Europe, the Edomites here. they're not as tough as mentally as those Russian dudes, man. Those dudes, like we always say, those are people over there in the Russian society. They're more built for battle. They're more built for war, right? That's the kind of people they are. All right. So let me read this here. This is Ezekiel 38:1 from the top. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him." All right. "And say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee." Yeah, so Gog and the land of Magog today represents what? It represents the land of Russia today. Because Gog and Magog, they're related to who? They're related unto they're basically related unto, they were the lands of Japhet, pretty much. But it's parabolic, because who's in that land today? The Russian so-called white man. All right, they're in the lands that were once inhabited by, because Japhet inhabited what you call today Europe, and they also were in parts of Russia also. All right, you see, so today who's inhabiting those lands? The Edomites, the so-called white man. All right, the lands that were once under the sons of Japhet, which is the what you call Europe today. Who's inhabiting it? It's the so-called white man, all right? So it's parabolic. So the Gog and Magog today represents who? The Russians, all right? That land. So it says, "The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and bring thee forth all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Yeah, because what? Basically, the Soviet Union at one point supposedly collapsed. All right, the fall of the iron. I think they called it the fall of the Iron Curtain. They basically started doing trade with the world. The Soviet Union. You see, because they've always been like a thorn in the so-called Western civilization side. They've always been a great enemy to America. So at one point in the 90s, they say it supposedly fell, which it never really fell. But guess what? The Lord said here, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth." So I'll bring you back to your old ways, basically, which is what you're seeing now. Russia is back to being a great it's always been a superpower, but it's the Soviet, they're basically back and flexing their muscles now, by way of who? Vladimir Putin. You see? And you know what it also proves? I'm going to keep reading the scripture. What also proves they are stronger minded people. Just look at Vladimir Putin compared to the average politician in Europe or compared to Biden. It's just night and day, man. All right? And the president, we know that there's people above them, but the point is the president represents the average civilian. So you see Putin, he's riding on horses, he's doing judo. And that seeps into the people. So the average Russian has that mind state. You see the average politician in Europe or in America, Joe Biden, they're liars. Everyone knows they're liars. They're crooked, they're corrupt. So that's the same as the people. Most of the people you encounter out here in America or in Europe, in England and whatnot, they're a bunch of liars, they're degenerates. They got a degenerate mind state. That's the same as the rulers, man. So anyway, but we know there's the wicked elite are the ones that really pull the strings. But, just on a lower level. So anyway, so he says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." So the Lord's going to bring them back to that old way, that war state, which they're back in it now. All right. "Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet." Yeah, Persia and Ethiopia. Persia represents who? Iran today. Iran. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet. And what's spiritual is that all those countries, Iran, which is Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, they've all over the years have had, and I know that as well, Ethiopia also, they've all had backing of who? The Soviet Union over the years. Even every war Ethiopia's ever had in their regions, where do they all get their weapons and and tanks and links from the so-called from the Russians. So they've always been tied in with them. And it's the same today. Who backs Iran today? The Russians. It's basically a war of Russia, China, Iran, and all their allies versus who? America, is the state of Israel, Babylon the Great, which is America, the state of Israel, and their allies, NATO, the NATO nations. But they're all going to turn on America in the end, by the way. They're going to turn on America and Israel, and that's beginning to happen. But here we know it's talking about Russia because look, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. So they're all interlinked. Gomer and his bands, the house of Togarmah of the North Quarter, and all the bands and many people with thee. Gomer will represent Turkey. And Turkey's always been kind of, when you see it in politics, Turkey's siding with Russia now. But Turkey's always been on the fringes of, they're linked in, they're like in between. They've always been kind of in between the NATO nations and Russia. They've always been in between. They've always had that I don't know the word for it, but they've always, you see it through politics. They've always, 1 minute they're cool with the NATO nations, then they're not, then they're siding with Russia, so to speak. But in the end, they're all going to be, these nations are all going to be under Russia anyway. Why? Because that's going to be the guard to them. So Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah and the North Quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's what Russia has become. Russia has become a guard unto all these nations, these so-called lesser nations, meaning Russia is their protection. All right. That's why America now, Babylon the Great, can't, this is the fall. Basically, we're witnessing the fall of what they call Western civilization today, which is America, the state of Israel, the UK, France, all these Edomites. Their system is collapsing in this side of the world. Their power structure, which is all really, really governed by America. All right, that's what we're witnessing here. And these nations I just read about here, their protection is who? Russia, man. Okay, because what two nations has the greatest amount of nuclear arsenal on the planet? It's America and it's Russia. All right? Which is it's all spiritual, man. It's all spiritual because Russia's going to be one of the main nations to ignite the nuclear war against America and the state of Israel. And then everyone else is going to join in. Okay? So this is what it says. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So they're a guard, all right, unto these nations. And it's all spiritual because that's why you're even witnessing today. And I've been seeing different like little racial things and things like that, where a lot of these crackers in America, they're not happy at the fact that, the Russian wrestlers, the Russian Dagestani guys, they're coming and just dominating the UFC. A lot of them crackers in America, because the UFC was once a white American thing. It was for the white boys in America, the average beer drinking American, to have their so-called Captain American hero, a white boy that can fight basically, which a lot of them is Jake. I'm just making a point though. It was for their kind of people. But what's happened is now all the Negroes are taking it over, which Jake has completely taken that game over. And then you're getting these Russian dudes coming in there and taking it over also, which a lot of them are Israelites. But the point is, it's a mind state thing. So these Western, the Western so-called white man's world is collapsing, man. So it's all spiritual, man. That's just even a spiritual thing, that you're getting all these Russian guys coming into the Western world and fucking them up in the UFC and the boxing. You're seeing it. All the top boxers are Chechnyans. If it ain't a so-called black man or a Hispanic, it's a Chechnyan, which the Chechnyans, even them Chechnyans and Dagestanian guys that are even in the boxing, they're beating up so-called black brothers, man. So it's, they're winning against them. So they're giving them they're winning. And even a lot of the Jakes, the actual Negro fighters, respect a lot of them Chechen fighters because they've sparred them, trained them, like that one dude. What's his name? Bertabiev. He's a bad dude, man. So it's all spiritual, man. This is the fall of the Western civilization that we're witnessing. So let me read this here. All right, this is the fall of the American Edomite, man. Babylon the Great, and really all you Edomites, but primarily the American Edomite, all right? This is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right. The second woe is past. All right. Meaning what? World War II is gone. World War I and II, they've passed. And it says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that's the time we're currently in. We're approaching World War III, basically. Whether people want to accept that or not, which, you know, you're getting all these goyim, you know, they have their opinions, but that doesn't matter. We're here when the doors of World War III. All right. And this is it. So the third woe is coming quickly, which is what we're at. And I just explained to you who are going to be the main catalysts that are going to destroy Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay. So let me read this here. Revelation 18:5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Lord have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you. And whose sins have reached unto heavens? America, all right? Babylon the Great, all right? The sins of America have reached unto the heavens. What's the sins of America? All the wickedness that they've done, man. Slavery, enslaving so-called Negroes, so-called black people being put in slavery, putting hell on our people, okay? All the wicked law. It's really because all of this judgment that's coming against America is going to be because of what? The wickedness that they've done to the Lord's people, man. Which are who? You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And the wickedness that the so-called white man in America has done, the so-called white man in Europe has done, you're going to pay for all of that, man. And we're in that times. So it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Lord have remembered her iniquity. So the Lord don't forget, all right? And he's going to get all you, he's going to see, the goyim don't see this shit coming, but the judgment day is going to come when people least expect it, and we're living in those times. Us brothers in the truth, we expect it. So for her sins have reached unto heaven. Whose sins? Babylon. And the Lord have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. That cup represents captivity, judgment. So we're going to reward these so-called white people for all the wickedness that they've done unto us. The Edomites, they're going to be rewarded double according to the way they rewarded us. They rewarded us with, like, you know, what did they reward the Native Americans with? Our native brothers. They rewarded them with what? Pestilence. They rewarded them with smallpox blankets. They rewarded them with diseases. So the Lord said, reward her double as the works that she did, you do to her. So this is the judgment that's coming for the so-called white man, all right? All right? How much she have glorified her, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore, and that's the mentality of the average so-called white person from America. In general, Babylon the Great, they think they're never going down. But this is why the Lord's setting up the great nation of the great lands of Russia and their allies to come against you. And this is all happening. He's doing it for his purpose. And why is the Lord doing all of this? For what you did to his chosen people. America is the main land where our people have been pillaged and raped, robbed and murdered, all right? Brought there, sent in captivity. The land, in fact, that whole land is stolen, man. All right? So it says, there you go. So it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So the Lord's going to fill a double cup of judgment for you, man. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore, and I want to end it on this, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Yeah, because it's going to take the Lord an hour to destroy America, man. With all them nuclear missiles. The nuclear war that's coming, the World War III, loads of places on the planet Earth are going to get hit with nuclear missiles, but Babylon the Great, which is America, is going to be the main place. Is going to be completely done away with, from east to west, north to south, Ohio, all of them, whatever, Decatur, whatever them places, Minnesota, everywhere is getting wiped the hell out, man, by them nuclear missiles. That's America is known in the scriptures as Babylon, and also known as what? The lake of fire. The lake of fire. So, because it's going to be turned to a lake of fire. Okay? All right? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. It says, oh yeah, Salakia. So it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. All right? And I'm going to end it on that. Strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. So who's bringing all this judgment against against America. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, he's bringing judgment against this place, man. This is the fall of this kingdom, all right? This is the fall of Babylon. This is the fall of what they call Western civilization. We're witnessing it, all right? And all the exposure is coming out against who? Against America primarily, and also the state of Israel and all the evil that the so-called white man has done. He's being exposed right now before his great judgment, all right? So, yeah, so, I just, want to, say a few of those things. So, with that, I'm going to say all praises unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Akim teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachak Kodash. Shalom. Shalom.